He's got his eye on one athlete there, hasn't he? Now he'd be pointing, I think, the marksman. Right, toe behind the line, behind the line. Yes, he's happy. Away we go. So it'll be Jacqueline Rotich gone sprinting out into the lead. That's needs to be careful. It's not too lavish. It is 25 laps. We've seen what happened in the men's race, where stuff in the first half of the race got neutralised very quickly. So again, we have a common ground for athletes that are specialist cross-country runners, half marathon world record holder, 15K world best, one or two moving up from 5,000 metres. And again, for the 10th race out of 10, they're well strung out because they're after times as well as places. You can see the wave light technology. The blue light will reflect the ambition of the 2:58 pace. The green one, already a little bit further back, is for the Olympic qualifier at 31:25. So gradually the gap between the blue and the green lead lights will separate out, so that those chasing pure qualification, as opposed to those trying to win, will be different. 23 degrees, the temperature in the stadium, windless completely. So it has been a beautiful evening of athletics. Thanks for joining us. This is Jeff Whiteman on the live stream. This is the final race of the day. We've had amazing races. We've had world leads, we've had Olympic qualifiers, we've had disappointments. I'm sure we'll get exactly the same in this one, the final race, the Ethiopian women's 10,000 meter trials for Tokyo. And it looks as though it's gone out very, very quickly. I don't think Rotich is due to be there for very long. I think she's only going to do 2, maybe 3 laps, and then it will be the secondary pacemaker that will take it on. So 2 laps down, 23 to go. We don't have a caption clock for you on this one. And we already have fully 30 metres from first to last, and we're only in the first kilometre of this 10-kilometre race. The poor old drink station official there has had no takers. I think it's almost mandatory to offer it in track summer races these days over 10,000 metres, but almost nobody takes it because they're only out there for 30 minutes. Well, there's a couple of little gaps opening up. It is very early days, but you would have expected to see it a little bit more tightly formed than this. There's the green light, still not that far behind the blue, but that's 31:25 pace. 2:58 per kilometre is the lead time, so that's sub 30-minute pace. Josh Hermans watching them from the barrier on the infield down the back straight. He will have clients in this race. He'll, I hope, be delighted with the way that it's gone. It was a 70-second lap. They're on 29:21 pace at the front. So that's, wow, more than 2 minutes inside Olympic qualifying time. So if they kept this up, the whole field would run the Olympic qualifying time. I suspect there's a few ups and downs for all of them to come through. Rotich has certainly put in a shift at the front there. She's due to be replaced by Kidsan Alema, the secondary pacemaker. You can see Letesenbet Gidey moving very comfortably in third. It was October last year. It was a special event NN running at Valencia World Record Day that lived up to its billing, and she was astonishing that day. And October, I mean, in 2019 we saw a World Championships in Doha in October because of the heat. Last year it was really because the season didn't get started because of lockdown until August. So October was only a couple of months in. 71-second lap, so they're on 29:25 pace. So the field is only 15 runners. I think we've lost 3 or 4 at the back of the group. There's no juniors in this one. Yeah, there's four athletes just dropped off the back of it. Oh no, more than that actually. But there are no age group athletes, although this event is contested at world junior level. So it's the seniors that have come through that 3-stage process to be invited here to Hengelo to challenge for the team. So it's an unusual one that it's been 6 months in the making and 2 stages. There were people that were going well in January who've gone off the boil a little bit now. There were people that came good in April who hopefully will be able to keep going here. It's a lucky track for 10,000 meter racing. We saw that incredible run by Sifan Hassan where she was on her own from almost this point in the race and smashed the world record only 2 days ago. 2 days ago on Sunday. She's due to race over 1,500 meters tomorrow night. Still on the race, 6 minutes into the race. We've just gone through 6 minutes and they're still on schedule for 29:25. And as we so often see, the athletes directly behind the pacemaker are staying there. Rotich is still doing a great job, going far more laps than we were expecting. But it's out the back of that group that 1 or 2 athletes have been dropped every kilometre or so. 7:03 into the race, just keeping you right on time because I'm aware that on the on screen you've lost the visual of the clock, but the clock is operating. You'll just have to rely on me to update you on that. We've had so many world leads. You'd expect it. Ethiopia, are they the best or the second best or equal best distance running nation in the world? This is the creme de la creme. They've been invited here to challenge for the Olympics, so they're already world class just by getting on the plane to Amsterdam. But they're absolutely going after the times. We haven't had any. I guess perhaps the men's 800 was a slight disappointment. There was something funny happen there on the third 200-meter segment. But apart from that, every race has been super quick, lots of Olympic qualifying times, and run full on. So the green wave light is catching up a little bit on the blue still. There you can see we're 8:15 into what will be hopefully a low 29-minute race. And another one out the back of that group. So we've got 1 pacemaker and 6 athletes hopefully going the full distance. Big striding Letesenbet Gidey. Only 23 years of age. It was a 73 last lap. Rotich still running well. I think it's the secondary pacemaker, Kidson Alema, who's gone. So it's the Kenyan doing the extra shift on her own. I think she was only due to be there for 3 or 4 laps, but she's gone way beyond that, and it's just as well because she's the last pacemaker standing. The news at the start was that Yehualo Yelamzurf, who was third in the World Half Marathon and won the Olympic candidates race, fell early on. Happened whether she clipped her heel or something. We didn't catch it, or at least I didn't see it in vision, but I think she's continued, but fell over right at the early stages of the race. Right, pacemaker is gone and Gidey takes up the running. We are 9:25 into the race. They're on 29:27 pace. Should mention that Gidey was actually beaten in the national championships. It was at an early stage, and it was over 5,000 meters where she holds the world record. It was a high altitude, so she ran 14:56, which doesn't compare that favourably unless you factor in the altitude with her world record of 14:06 set in Valencia last year. I think she's a Joss Herman's client, so that's who he's urging on. Ababel Yasane is the athlete behind her, the world record holder from the RAC half marathon. I was there that day. That was an astonishing run. 64:31 she ran. So she's actually stepping down in distance to do this, and Gidey is stepping up as 5,000 meter world record holder. Logic would say that the further on it goes, the more it plays into Gidey's hands, but she's the one taking it on, which is sort of counterintuitive. You'd think the half marathon runner would want to make it quick, consistently quick all the way around. We're on 29:28 pace. We've just had a 71-second lap. This is race 10 out of 10 at the Ethiopian Olympic Trials, being staged in Hengelo at sea level with the benefit of beautiful racing conditions organised by Global Sports Communications. It's Jeff Whiteman with you. Hope you've enjoyed the racing. We've had some tremendous racing. We've had world leads. Let's see what this final one yields. And remember, only 3 can be picked for any nation, whatever their strength in depth is. So we're 11:47 into the race. I think one of these lights is set for Sifan Hassan's world record. It may be one that's a little bit further around the bend. That will become a bit more distinctive later on. They're certainly not running at world record pace, but they're on for 29:29, so we're not too far off. Blue probably world record, and the green will be the 2:58 per kilometre pace. So if that was Sifan Hassan's world record on Sunday on this very track, look how far the blue light is ahead. It's only 3 strides. Hassan was on her own at this stage and had the green light of the previous world record holder, Ayana, to key in on. But this Hengelo track's like some sort of magic carpet, isn't it? Especially for female 10,000 metre runners, it would appear. So we're coming up to 13 minutes, 14 laps to go. Very fluid, languid running action, isn't it? I think it's deceptive when you watch Gidey because she looks like she's almost on a training run, and yet this is, well, one of the fastest 10,000s we'll ever have seen. Only 23 years old, great on the roads, brilliant at 5,000 metres, and is she going to give herself... obviously, as world record holder, she would have to be in the thinking of the selectors at 5,000 metres, whatever she does here. But is this her best bet for gold in Tokyo or a podium position in Tokyo? Once again, the blue light, just a body length ahead of her, is the world record that was set here on Sunday. And I was in the stadium for that, and there was no let up from Sifan Hassan. I mean, she just ran fluidly and strongly, but Gidey looks magnificent at this stage, and so too the half marathon runner behind her, Ababel Yeshane. We're 14 minutes and 7 seconds into the race. What a strange thing it would be if we had a world record in this race. It would mean that on the same track, Hassan was world record holder, stadium record holder, track record holder for 2 days. They're looking magnificent at the moment. The first of the lapped runners ahead of them. Oh, what was that? A little pat on the back as she went by? Perhaps a training partner? Same hairdresser? And that manoeuvre has opened Gidey away from the chaser. 29.06 was the world record. Suddenly she is up with the blue light, Gidey, the world 5,000 metre record holder. Joss Herman's manager to both of them, Hassan and Gidey. Adias Misiani of Ethiopia is going to be lapped very shortly. Now Joss gets off his barrier and lets her know it is on. The track record is on. It also happens to be the world record. Running on her own, I bet in the peripheral vision of her eye she can just see that blue light. Now less than a stride in front of her. She needs to hold it together here because Hassan didn't have any bad patches in that world record run. She was even, smooth and fluid throughout. She even closed strongly. Gidey's going to have to do something very similar. She's very toe-striking runner, isn't she? Very up on her forefoot and quite a high kickback of the trail leg for a 10,000 metre runner. It looks more like a 3,000, 1,500 runner. The arm action very deliberate as well. So the indications are that this far into the race, the world record is still possible. And it was a world record that was 10 seconds inside the existing one. Ayana at the rims in winning there in the heat of the Olympic final. I think there were about 40 odd runners in that race, 43 or something mad. There were no heats. It was a straight final. So huge number of lap runners to negotiate. Gidey does not have that. She can just concentrate on her own running now. Well, it's metronomic, and that's what she needs. I just can't decide myself how helpful the wave light technology is. It certainly doesn't do any harm, especially if you're going well. If you're going badly and the lights start moving away from you, then it is quite demoralising. But also, I don't know how closely she can see that. Her eye line will be on these lap runners up ahead. That was Valentine Dutroux from her management company, works with Joss Hermans, giving, and there's Joss himself saying, yep, it's on. Let's go. So behind her, we've got Ababel still in second place. Then we have got Gamechu, world ranked number 9 athlete, who was fourth in the World Championships over 5,000. She's in third. Then we've got Sigi Gebresalama, 30.57 runner from Hengelo, who was fourth in the trials and is the national champion. And then we've got Yalamzurf Yehualu, who was third in the World Half Marathon. 9 laps to go. We're on 18 minutes and 47 seconds. We're on 29.22 pace. Well, we saw Hassan lap almost the whole field, and that could be what Gidey is going to have to do. She's giving her nostrils lots of attention. I don't know if she's had too many COVID tests up there. Certainly, I think it was one a day for athletes that were here and at the European Team Championships the previous weekend. That's just life now for athletes that are travelling. COVID before travel, COVID on arrival, tests, daily lateral flow tests. It's just a fact of life if you travel, along with all the notifications and isolations that you have to do. But Gidey is a long way from home. She's found a way through that, concentrating hard, powering her way through the field, still on 29:22 pace. We surely could not get a world record to end these Ethiopian trials, could we? Especially one that was set in the same place barely 48 hours before. And to be world 5,000 and 10,000 metre record holder would be remarkable. One in October, one in early June. Look at her head on. It's that very deliberate running action, isn't it? The arms just coming across the centre point slightly, but in particular that high kickback and bounce in her stride. So the supporters, such as they are, have stayed in the stadium. With 8 laps to go, she was on 19 minutes and 57 seconds. She needs not to have a bad patch here if that world record is going to be possible. She's surely got the record, the race won. So she has probably got her ticket to Tokyo, and probably she's got options at 5,000 metres if she wants them. So we're beyond 21 minutes now. 7 laps to go. 21:07 was the time. Into the last 3 kilometres of a 10-kilometre race. Race 10 out of 10. One of the lap runners daring to try and tuck in at world record pace. Good luck with that one. Well, anybody thinking about a 10,000 metres in 2022, you surely have Hengelo on your wish list. They've been very, very fortunate with the weather, which has been atrocious in Netherlands, like most other places in Europe through April and May. But this is even better weather than Hassan had, and that may end up being the difference in the closing stages. Hassan did not wilt at all, but Gidey is not wilting at all at the moment. And she's gradually accelerating. The laps are marginally quicker each time. They're certainly not slowing. They're like a few tenths quicker each lap. Hassan, I think, did a training session after finishing the race. She was very elated. We had all sorts of flinging ourselves to the track and wrapping the comedy check around her head, but she was absolutely delighted with that. But then some while afterwards did a training session on the warm-up track, quite a meaty one as well, I think. 6 laps to go, 22:16, so the world record is still possible. 29:06.82. Hassan said afterwards she thought she could go under 29 minutes if she needed to. Well, there's deep concentration going on here. Is she looking at the lights? Is she aware of them as the evening sunshine fades? I guess there'll be more brightness in them. They're on the either side of that curb rail. Still on 29:06 pace. The world record is 29:06.82. If you've stayed with us from the beginning of this coverage, well done. Thank you. It promised to be one of the best carnivals of endurance running that we've seen in the last Olympic cycle. And it's been great right the way through from 800 metres. But the women's 10,000 was on last, maybe by accident, maybe deliberately. But it could be a real blockbuster finale. And it rides with this woman, Letesenbet Gidey, the world 5,000 metre record holder, on schedule for the world 10,000 metre record. Getting urged on by a very knowledgeable crowd. The athletes you can see in the background have already raced. And Joss Herman's trying to clear the track. The etiquette is if you're lapped, you should move out. And she's done that. Fair play. Not many athletes experience that. If you're as world-class as this invited field, you won't have experienced being lapped very often, so you won't be thinking about what to do. A 69-second lap with 2,000 metres to go. So it is very much on. The world record. You haven't got time to go away and make a cup of tea because it's happening now and it's live on the stream from Hengelo. Look at that. How tantalising is that? That blue wave is the ghost of Sifan Hassan from Sunday afternoon. Lots of people shouting the detail of what she needs to do. So strong. 4 laps to go. She was on 24:35. Now, you'll have to rely on me here in the closing stages. I know I'm giving you lap by lap updates. The wave light technology helps you because the blue light is where the world record sits. The end time that we're going to be looking for on the clock on the Toblerone just beyond the finish line is 29:06:82. If it happens, it will be one of the shortest lived endurance records ever. It's probably happened during heats and semi-finals of an Olympic Games that one heat has set a world record and another one has come back at it. But they're rare things in athletics because they're good. We're in the era of the super shoes. Hengelo is a dream ride for athletes, especially at 10,000 meters. There's the clock, 25:37. Three laps to go, 25:42 was the split. Well, Hassan was just like a machine in the closing stages, but Gidey, I wonder if they'll both be in the same 10,000 meter race in Tokyo in the World Championships. They've both got options at 5,000 meters and in the case of Hassan at 1,500 meters. But my goodness, what a 48 hours it has been in this little town in the east of Holland. This track, which has seen so much history, just belongs to women's 10,000 meter running at the moment. 68 seconds was the last lap that we saw. So all she's got is the urging on of Martijn Visser on the PA system. The supporters, there aren't really any spectators to speak of. So she's having to generate the motivation for this herself. She's been absolutely expressionless. There's been no obvious fatigue. It's a bouncy stride that she has to maintain, but she's doing it. Joss will be almost in lane one with her. There's Valentine de True. Joss has seen so many world records. He's mainly getting rid of people that are being lapped so she can run the shortest line. God, he's running it with her, isn't he? Still ahead of world record at this point. It will be the bell this time. My goodness me. We will be talking about this. Which venue saw 2 world records in 48 hours in the same discipline, same gender? Oh. 29:06:82 awaits Gidey. This will be the bell. Still got time to clear the nostrils. A good sign. There's the bell. Ask not for whom it tolls. We're on 28 minutes. Oh, it's not a given, this one. It's not a given. It needs something a bit special on this last lap. She did a 66. She needs another 66. It's going to be very close, but it is going to be one of the shortest lived world records in history. She's got a lot of bodies on the track. Joss is hoovering them off the side there, so she has a clear run down the straight. Wow, 2 amazing women, 2 solo world record attacks. They will go head to head potentially in Tokyo. But here we go, last 100 meters for Letesenbet Gidey. They're making a way for her. Is she going around the outside? She doesn't care. She's coming down the inside, 29:06:82 to break a world record that was set here just on Sunday. Keep your eye on the clock in the background. I think she's going to do it. It's going to be close, but she's going to get there. 29:02, a new world record. She holds both world records, 5,000 and 10,000. She thanks divine powers for that one. Wow. If you're a woman 10,000 meter runner, come to Hengelo. At that time, is it 29:01? Who would have thought that we would see female athletes on the brink of breaking 29 minutes? 29:01:04. She holds both of the long track world records. One in October last year. And now Letesenbet Gidey is the fastest of all time. I wonder what Sifan Hassan thinks watching this. She ran brilliantly to smash the old world record, and it has gone by another 5 seconds on the same track 2 days later. Crazy times, literally. Don't step on the track, yeah. Be careful. Be careful out there. Oh. Now, we haven't really been paying attention to what's been going on behind. That was a 63-second last lap. So she went from being just inside to way inside. Final few finishers coming in, one or two of them needing a little bit of help. A reminder that the Olympic qualifying mark, which I think is still running, is 31:25. So a few athletes who were double lapped still to come in. There was an issue with the lapping, especially for the Australian women on Sunday and the lap count, because I think the clock stopped and showed 0 to go, but that was for Hassan. So we're on 31 minutes now. So anybody finishing in the next 20 seconds is inside the Tokyo qualifier. Joss, the man who cleared the track for her, and her manager, has now seen 2 world records on this track at this meeting at this stadium that he helped make so famous. Oh. Yeah, we need to keep the inside lane clear. Bit of respect to the runners still finishing. And to social distancing. Unless you're in the same bubble. Last lap of 63. What a race that is going to be in Tokyo. Valentine Dutroux from her management company. There it is on the background. So we've only just gone through the Olympic qualifying automatic time of 31:25. So there are an awful lot of people that she lapped at least once who still went inside Tokyo qualification. So if you tuned in to the live stream, who'd have thought it? A world record to culminate what have been 10 brilliant races to attempt to finalise the Tokyo team for the Ethiopian endurance stars. They won 8 medals across all sports in Rio. It was a good showing, but all of them were done in the distances which we've seen tonight and the marathon on the road. So it's a heavy responsibility to wear the red, green and gold of Ethiopia in Tokyo. But by today's evidence, there will be a few medals to be had on that track. Oh, well, we have athletes still finishing. We'll bring you the results caption when we can. I hope the absence of a clock in the bottom right-hand side of the screen didn't spoil from your enjoyment of that world record attempt. We kind of knew what was in prospect, and wave-like technology certainly helps with spectating from that perspective, doesn't it? But 2 world records in the same discipline on the same track in 2 days. There's Gidey. She was a bit more subdued, wasn't she, than Hassan? Hassan was flinging herself on the track and didn't know what to do. This is a much cooler customer. There it is, confirmation bottom left of a world record, and not her first one either. I wonder if she's off to do a track session as Sifan Hassan did. Just interested to see on the scrolling caption how many women put themselves automatically in a qualification position for Tokyo, because you can see with 29:01 there's still 2.5 minutes for people to finish. So even folk that were lapped could be in that frame. We've got Francine Niyonsaba in there. I didn't see her during the race, but let's catch up with that on the results. And we had Dolce Tesfu of Eritrea. So that time has been corrected very slightly to the 100th for the new official world record, 29:01:03. I think the hundreds were adjusted. What a time. I mean, there will be very good runners around the world, male runners, thinking, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do 29:01. The gaps are narrowing between male and female distance running, and certainly the old, what used to be thought of as good times previously in the era of super shoes, has changed out of all recognition. But it is still head-to-head racing that we enjoy most, isn't it? And we'll have plenty of that in Tokyo. Hassan against Gidey, Netherlands against Ethiopia. Won't that be a great one? Straight final, no pacemakers. They can both close quickly. They've both set world records in Hengelo in June. It's still a shirt sleeves evening in Hengelo. The weather could not have been better. It stayed at around 23 degrees, just slightly clammy at 49-50% humidity. Pacemakers all did a great job. When we think back through the card of 10 races, 800s maybe struggled to get their automatic qualifiers. One or two of the steeplechase runners will be disappointed, but ever since then, at 1500, 5000. So I think we're going to have a little interview with Gidey. I don't know in which language. She's Amharic. The host broadcaster is Dutch. You may be listening in English, but let's see how we do. That's the mandatory shot, isn't it? That's one you'll be seeing, whatever website or publication you tune into. Thanks, by the way, Let'sRun.com fans. I'm sure the message boards will be on fire about this one, but hope you enjoyed it. It's a favourable time in the US to have watched what's happening and see how you mark your card for Tokyo as far as the Ethiopian team is concerned. Here we go. This is my time.
You just run as fast as possible. You run as fast as possible. Did you know that you were running the world record? Did you know that?
Yes, I expected to run the world record and I wrote it.
You expected to run it?
Yes.
So now you have both the world records, 5,000 meters and 10,000 meters. What's next?
I think I will try to run the record again.
World record again? Beneath the 29?
Yes, my world record I will try to 28:56.
Oké, nou we gaan dus een tijd onder de 29 krijgen voor volgende wereldrecord.
Quite shy for somebody that's so emphatic on the track. She was a little bit diffident there. Of course, speaking in a second language, Josh makes all his athletes learn English. So Hailey and Kenenisa Bekele, it didn't come naturally to them. He sent them to English classes. She may be off there right now, but a very charming manner, and what a way to round off the evening. Oh yeah, she's signing me anti-doping form. That's where she'll be going. Her evening is sorted out for her. Doping control, track session, English lessons. The wave light's still going.
Nou, dan wil ik iedereen een hele goede thuisreis wensen met dit prachtige eindresultaat van deze...
So her comments were that she was expecting to run that well. Her next target is sub 29. Might take that to win in Tokyo.